A homeless child summoned the courage to tell Steph Curry, "I haven't eaten in 2 days." What the basketball star did next, away from the cameras, remained secret for months, and when it finally came to light, the whole world was shocked. The cold morning in Oakland, California, penetrated through the cracks of the old 2003 Honda Civic, where Jason and his mother, Diane, had spent another night. The typical fog of San Francisco Bay covered the windows of the car discreetly parked at the back of a 24-hour supermarket, the third different place this week. At 11 years old, Jason already knew the routine. Wake up before dawn, fold the worn blanket they shared, use the establishment's bathroom to wash as best they could, and store their few belongings in the trunk before the employees arrived. "Jason, honey, I need to go to that employment agency again today," Diane whispered, fixing her hair in the small rearview mirror. Her hands, once delicate when she worked as a nursing technician, now showed the signs of 3 months living on the streets. "Will you be okay alone?" They had been evicted after Diane contracted severe pneumonia that kept her away from work for weeks. Without adequate health insurance, the medical bills consumed their savings. With no family in the region to help, eviction was just a matter of time. "I'll be fine, Mom," replied Jason, wearing a Golden State Warriors t-shirt, his only connection to the normal life he had before. The item had been a birthday present, months before everything fell apart. Hunger was what bothered him most. Jason's stomach hurt, not in an acute way, but with that deep and constant pain of someone who hasn't eaten a complete meal in days. The peanut butter sandwich they shared the day before yesterday was the last substantial thing they had eaten. Since then, just some crackers and water. Diane kissed her son's forehead before leaving. "I'll be back before noon. Stay close to here, okay?" Jason nodded, watching his mother walk away. He knew she cried in hiding every night, blaming herself for the situation they were in. He decided to walk around the area to distract himself from hunger. His steps led him, almost unconsciously, toward the Chase Center, where the Warriors trained. It was pure coincidence, or destiny, as Jason would think later, that at that exact moment Steph Curry was leaving through a side door after an early morning individual training. Jason froze. There was his greatest idol, the man whose poster decorated his room before they lost everything. Something inside him, perhaps desperation, perhaps hunger, gave him courage. With trembling legs, he approached. Curry was alone, checking messages on his phone while walking to his car. "Mr. Curry?" stuttered Jason. Steph Curry looked up, observing the thin boy with the Warriors t-shirt too big for his body. "Hey, kid," replied Curry with a gentle smile. Jason swallowed hard. Shame locking his throat, but the pain in his stomach spoke louder. "Sorry to bother you," he whispered, "but I haven't eaten in 2 days." The expression on Curry's face transformed instantly. The smile gave way to a look of deep concern as he put his phone away, and, for the first time, really saw the boy in front of him. Steph Curry looked around, making sure they were alone in the parking lot. No photographer, no fan with a smartphone lurking, just him and a hungry boy in a faded Warriors t-shirt. "What's your name, friend?" asked Curry, lowering himself to the boy's eye level. "Jason," replied the boy, containing the tremor in his voice. "Jason, I'm Steph," he said, as if the boy didn't know. "Where is your family? Your parents?" "My mom is looking for work at an agency nearby." Curry didn't hesitate. "Let's find her and then find something for us to eat together. Is that okay?" Jason nodded, although his eyes revealed distrust. A natural reaction after months living on the streets of Oakland. They walked 3 blocks to the employment agency, with Curry pulling his cap down, trying to maintain a discreet profile. When Diane saw her son entering through the door accompanied by Steph Curry, her face traversed a kaleidoscope of emotions: confusion, recognition, alarm, and, finally, a mixture of gratitude and shame. "Mrs. Miller, nice to meet you. I just met this young fan," said Curry, extending his hand. "I hope you don't mind, but I promised him lunch." In the small family restaurant 2 blocks away, after Jason attacked a hamburger with veracity, Curry listened attentively while Diane related her story. The pneumonia that cost her job as a nursing technician, the depletion of savings, the eviction, the nights in the car. "I've been applying for everything, but without a fixed address." Diane let the sentence die while her gaze said the rest. "How long have you been in this situation?" asked Curry. 3 months, replied Jason, before his mother could. Curry nodded thoughtfully. Then he excused himself and stepped away to make some calls. Jason observed while the basketball star gestured. On the phone, his face alternating between seriousness and occasional smiles. When he returned to the table, Curry had a plan. "I have some friends at the Eat, Learn, Play Foundation. We got a hotel for you to stay for now. No conditions, no cameras, no publicity." Diane put down her fork. "Mr. Curry, I appreciate it very much, but I can't accept charity. I need to show Jason that we can." "Don't consider it charity," Curry gently interrupted. "Think of it as community, supporting community. We all need help at some point." Their eyes met, and something in the sincerity of Curry's gaze made Diane reconsider. "Actually," he continued, "I work with programs that connect health professionals to local hospitals. I can make some introductions." "I don't know what to say," muttered Diane, her eyes teary. Jason observed everything, his expression slowly, changing from skepticism to hope. That night, for the first time in months, Jason and Diane slept in real beds. In the modest but clean hotel room, while his mother took a long hot shower, Jason sat on the edge of the bed, still trying to process how his day had changed so drastically. On the nightstand, Steph Curry's personal card with a cell phone number, handwritten, and a simple message. "This is just the beginning. SC30. 3 weeks passed like a dream for Jason and Diane. The hotel room had given way to a small 1-bedroom apartment in a subsidized housing complex in the Fruitvale district of Oakland. Steph Curry's Eat, Learn, Play Foundation had discreetly moved the gears behind the scenes, ensuring that help arrived without fanfare or publicity. "Are you sure you're comfortable with that new uniform?" asked Diane, adjusting Jason's shirt collar. It was his first day at the new school, just 2 blocks away from the apartment. Jason nodded, still getting used to clothes that actually fit. It's strange not having to take 3 buses to get to school. For Diane, the transformation was equally surreal. After years working as a nursing technician, now she participated in a professional reintegration program at Highland Hospital, updating her certifications while working part-time. Curry's contact with the hospital administration had opened doors that Diane believed were permanently closed. "I just wish I knew how to thank him properly," commented Diane while preparing breakfast with food from the newly stocked pantry. As if conjured by her thoughts, Diane's phone rang. It was Curry, checking how they were adapting. These calls had become periodic, always brief, always discreet. Curry never mentioned his actions to anyone in the media or on social networks. "I have tickets for Friday's game," said Curry on the phone. "I thought Jason might like to see the Warriors play against the Lakers." Jason could barely sleep the night before the game. Sitting in the stands close to the court, he watched open-mouthed as his idol hit 3 consecutive three-point shots. After the game, Curry discreetly waved to them, without drawing attention to their presence. What nobody in the arena knew was that Jason wasn't the only one. In various sections of the stands, other families recently off the streets watched the game, all silent beneficiaries of the initiative that was beginning to take shape. At school, teachers noticed Jason's transformation. The once withdrawn boy now raised his hand to answer questions, his grades improving as stability reflected in his academic performance. On a sunny Saturday afternoon, Jason was invited to a special basketball clinic at the local community gym. Upon arrival, he found 20 other children, all with stories similar to his. When Curry appeared to give the training personally, smiles illuminated the place. "This is just the beginning," Curry confided to Diane while they watched the children, practicing shots. "I'm working on something bigger, inspired by Jason." "Bigger like what?" asked Diane. "Something that could help hundreds of families like yours," he replied, watching Jason teach another boy how to properly position his hands on the ball. "Your son taught me that sometimes the biggest impact begins with the simplest moment." Suts. Months after that fateful morning in Oakland, Jason observed through the window of his permanent apartment on the second floor of a renovated building in East Bay. The room he shared with his mother had been decorated with Warriors posters and newly earned school certificates. On the refrigerator, held by a basketball magnet, was Diane's schedule at Highland Hospital, where she now worked full-time after completing her recertification as a nursing technician. "Nervous about today?" asked Diane, adjusting the bow tie that Jason would wear to the event. "A little," admitted the boy, now with a healthy glow in his eyes and appropriate weight for his age. "But Steph said, I just need to be myself." That afternoon, in a packed auditorium in San Francisco, Steph Curry took the stage to officially announce the Beyond the Court program, an initiative dedicated to identifying and helping homeless families with potential for quick reintegration into society. "It all started with an encounter that changed my life," said Curry at the microphone, while images of Jason and Diane, with carefully obtained permission, were projected on the big screen. A brave boy who had the honesty to say, "I haven't eaten in 2 days." The story, when finally shared on social media, instantly went viral. Not for the celebrity aspect, but for the deeply human element, the sincerity of a hungry child, and the genuine response of an athlete who chose to act discreetly for months before making the initiative public. "Basketball gave me a platform," explained Curry in an emotional interview with ESPN, "but Jason gave me a direction. I realized that my presence in communities can go far beyond autographs and photos." The numbers were impressive. 50 families already reintegrated in Oakland. In the first year, professional training programs, partnerships with school systems, mentorships for children, and most importantly, a model that other athletes were beginning to replicate in their own cities. LeBron James in Cleveland, Damian Lillard in Portland, Joel Embiid in Philadelphia. For Jason, perhaps the most significant transformation had been internal. The boy who once was ashamed of his situation now spoke fluently on panels about housing insecurity, becoming a young spokesperson who humanized statistics. "Nobody plans to live on the streets," said Jason to an audience of legislators in Sacramento. "Sometimes you just need someone to believe in you long enough for you to start believing in yourself again." At the closing of the inauguration ceremony of the first physical headquarters of the Beyond the Court program in Oakland, Curry and Jason cut the symbolic ribbon together, the basketball star and the boy who, with just one honest sentence, had inspired a revolution of compassion. Their lives, previously separated by abysses of fortune and circumstance, now remained intertwined as testimony to how a single genuine encounter can, truly, transform the world.